I am going to be reading August 17 entry from Hope for Today, Courage Change, and One Day at a Time in Al-Anon. August 17 is on page 230. So I'm going to read from Hope for Today first. I was excited when I came to Al-Anon and found the 12 steps. I felt as if I finally had permission to live life my way. But instead, I found myself using the program to dissect other people's lives. I knew many people who could benefit from the wisdom I was receiving in Al-Anon, and I decided it was my job to enlighten them. Then I came to a new understanding of step 3, in which I turned my will and my life over to the care of the higher power of my understanding. I finally realized I don't have to enlighten anyone. Part of turning my life over to my higher power now includes turning over my loved ones and all of their words, actions, and attitudes as well. Allowing my loved ones to make their own decisions and learn from their mistakes gives them the gift of dignity and gives me the gift of serenity. When I'm not spending my energy trying to figure out other people's lives, I have the insight to make the everyday decisions that bring me peace. Thought for the day. Today I'll stop minding other people's business and create some business of my own to mind. Quote, Al-Anon helped me to see that many of my problems stem from minding everyone's business but my own. That quote is from Courage to Change, page 234. Wow. That is really cool. That reading, I really like that. It says here, allowing my loved ones to make their own decisions and learn from their mistakes gives them the gift of dignity and gives me the gift of serenity. When I'm not spending my energy trying to figure out other people's lives, I have the insight to make the everyday decisions that bring me peace. So basically for me, this talks about when I focus all my energy on changing myself and trying to make myself better, I really don't have time to criticize other people because I have my own things to work on. So that really brings me a lot of freedom and a hope and peace. And boundaries, again, I can hear boundaries in this reading. So moving on to next reading, Courage to Change, August 17. Page 230. Some of us believe that most defects of character are merely traits that we no longer need. Many of us developed clever methods of surviving in an alcoholic situation, such as denial or secrecy. But once we have the support of the Al-Anon program, we may find that our old methods do more harm than good. What once allowed us to function in a nearly impossible situation is now an obstacle to further growth. An asset has become a deficit. Others define defects of character as assets that have lost proportion. For example, a genuine desire to help a loved one can be exaggerated into a desperate need to fix another person. From this perspective, we aren't facing the daunting task of rooting out every shred of the defect. We are only turning it over to our higher power so that it can be brought into balance, or dropped because it is no longer serving our needs. Today's reminder: instead of condemning myself when I become aware of a defect of character, I can acknowledge my growth. I've recognized that a characteristic that once allowed me to survive is no longer necessary, or that an asset that has lost its proportion makes my life unmanageable. Instead of proving sickness, this shows a willingness to face reality and the readiness to choose health. Quote, sometimes we must accept ourselves, defects and all, before those defects are removed. That quote is from In All Our Affairs. Yeah, that is a good reading as well about defects of characters and what a defect of character is. I like how it says here, we may find that our old methods do more harm than good, and what once allowed us to function in a nearly impossible situation is now an obstacle to further growth. An asset has become a deficit. It says it cannot define defects of character as assets that have lost proportion. And then from this perspective, you aren't facing the daunting task of rooting out every shred of the defect. We are only turning it over to our higher power. I like that. Let go and let God. So that it can be brought into balance or dropped because it is no longer serving our needs. This is really good reading for the fourth step, fifth step, sixth step in inventory. All right, moving on to One Day at a Time in Al-Anon, August 17, page 230. We sometimes forget what a painful experience it was to come to our first Al-Anon meeting. Remember the whirling thoughts, the fears, the uncertainty? Uneasy questions came crowding into our minds. Is it the right thing to do? What will he say if he finds out? Am I disgracing my family by admitting that husband and father drinks too much? What if somebody tells I was there? Then when we were reassured to discover that Al-Anon has a protective cloak of anonymity for us, every member understands that no word of the proceedings must ever go beyond the meeting room, and especially that no names should ever be mentioned. Today's reminder: the newcomer to Al-Anon immediately feels comforted and safe when she learns that she can talk freely without fear of having anything repeated. We owe her this assurance. We are committed to it by our own traditions, as well as by our personal need for protection against careless gossip. I will remind myself daily that I must guard against revealing anything concerning Al-Anon or an AA member. Tradition 12. Anonymity is the spiritual foundation of all our traditions, ever reminding us to place principles above personalities. And this entry talks about how Al-Anon really helps with whirling thoughts, fears, and uncertainty, and how the cloak of anonymity is super important for people to open up and to feel safe opening up, talking about their inner lives and their experiences, and to not be afraid to be authentically honest in the meetings. And so I suggest keep going to meetings, go get a sponsor, and never give up, because you definitely are worth it. You are loved, you are precious, and everybody deserves to live a life of serenity and to understand the process of serenity and how it can really help with decision making and just living day-to-day life in peace. I hope you all enjoy the readings for August 17. Hit subscribe if you want to continuously hear readings from Al-Anon. And yeah, never give up, and there's always hope and experience and strength out there. If you keep knocking on a door, it shall be answered for you. And I love the wisdom of Al-Anon. Alright. See you next time. Bye, my sweet little angels. Thank you so much for listening and tuning in. God bless, and if you're lonely, you're not the only one. You're never alone. Bye.